The Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay, of course, I'm biased, but technology, AI could help that. Could help the lonely people. That's actually the passion of my life.
Like that movie She?
Her. That is what so I'm currently...
You really think that would be a viable option? Someone have some robot that hangs out with you and talks to you all the time?
So I've been on this podcast twice, and I don't deserve it, but I'm deeply grateful for it. Okay,
you do deserve it. You're great.
Okay, I hope to be back one day as a person who created her.
Oh boy!
And we'll have that's been my life goal, my life dream. Not her, the movie.
Right. I know what you're saying.
But I really believe in creating. I dream of creating a companion, a friend, and somebody you can love.
But does that freak you out? Like, shouldn't you have to get a real one? I don't
think such a companion should replace a real one.
What if a robot rejects you? Because if you really are a cunt to the robot's going to go, hey, asshole.
Then you shouldn't be the C word to the robot.
The C word. Interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, this goes
Does the robot get to decide if he's gay?
Yes.
Does he?
Yes.
The robot gets to decide. This is what I'm saying. Like, say if you want a companion, you want a gay lover, and the robot's like, hey, man, I'm not gay. And you're like, wait a minute, let me turn around. You are now. I mean...
That's abuse.
Is that abuse?
No.
Or is it like, what the fuck, man, I bought a robot?
Those are kind of fun ideas, but they actually get to the core of the point that we don't want a servant in our systems. We want a companion.
Right.
A companion means the tension, the mystery, the entire dance of human interaction. And that means, yes, the robot may leave you. I mean,
damn, robots are going to leave people left and right. That's going to be the rise. That's going to be like, that's how it all ends. They're going to realize, like, fuck people, man. They're annoying.
Or maybe they'll be the end of douchebag humans. That humans will start to, as opposed to being rude, will become kinder.
Yeah. Well, I think that's certainly possible. I think that's beautiful. And that's very homo-centric, like Homo sapien-centric. But I think if I'm really worried about the future, I'm worried about the indifference of technological innovation, the indifference to what we hold dear, what we appreciate, that it always seems to be moving in a more and more complex direction. Always. Like if you just had a look at it, if you just look at technology just as a swarm of things that's happening, it just as numbers, it seems you're never going to slow that thing down. It's always going to move in a more and more complex way. And so the question is, where does that go? Well, it goes to a life form. And if it does become a life form, it's going to be infinitely more intelligent than us, and it won't have any use for us. Like, you're crying, you don't like being alone? Like, God, you guys are just so useless. It's such a shitty design. Yeah. You're like chimps that kill each other. You know, like when you see chimps killing each other in the forest, like, oh, that's terrible. These chimps are so mean to each other. It's like fucking people. We do that too. If the AI comes along and goes, you guys are never going to stop war. If I asked you today, bet the history I will let the human race survive if you can get this right, if you're honest with me. Do you think there'll ever be a time where human beings, as you know them, don't experience war? You would have to say no. You say, okay, I'll spare you. But if you lie to me and say you do think that one day there's going to be no war, get the fuck out of here. That's not true. We know we're so crazy that we're always going to kill each other. We know that, right? That's a part of being a person.
Yeah.
Today.
But let me quote Eric Weinstein, who said, everything is great about war except all the killing. I think what that means is all the great things about society have been created. If you look at the post-war, through war, the suffering, the beauty has been created through that. That right. Yin and yang may be essential.
It's essential in biological form. But why would it be essential in something that gets created and something that can innovate at a 10,000? What is it like? What is the rate that they think once AI can be sentient, it can get 10,000 years of work done in a very short amount of time?
That's random words that Sam Harris has come up with, and I'm going to talk to him about this.
Is that him? Is that only him?
Well, no, you can come up with any kind of rate. Yes.
I thought that was Kurzweil.
Oh, Kurzweil also has similar ideas, but Sam Harris does like a thought experiment, say, if a system can improve that, you know, in a matter of seconds, then just as a thought experiment, you can think about it can improve exponentially. You can improve, you become 10,000 times more intelligent in a matter of a day.
Right.
And so what does that look like? The problem is we don't yet know. It's like thinking about what happens after death. We don't yet know how to do that, and we don't yet know what better way to do what we've done here on Earth.
You're right, and he's also right.
Right.
Like both, this is a very human problem, right?
Yes.
Where you're right. I mean, look, I'm all in favor of technology. I'm happy. I think it's amazing. It's a beautiful time. Like as a person to be able to experience all this technology, it's wonderful. But I also agree with him. Like the indifference of the universe. Yeah. The indifference. They're just black holes just swallowing stars. No big deal. Just eating up stars. It doesn't give a fuck. And so if you're dumb enough to turn that thing on, and all of a sudden this artificial life form that's infinitely smarter than any person that's ever lived and has to deal with these little dumb monkeys that want to pull the plug? Pull the plug, motherfucker. I don't need plugs anymore. You idiots can never figure out how to operate on air. You're so stupid with your burning fossil fuels and choking up your own environment because you're all completely financially dependent upon these countries that provide you with this oil, and this is how your whole system works, and it's all intertwined and interconnected, and no one wants to move from it because you make enormous sums of money from it. So nobody wants to abandon it. But you're choking the sky with fumes. And you could have fixed that. You could have fixed that. They could have fixed that. If everybody just abandoned fossil fuels a long time ago, we all would have Tesla'd out by now.
It's a flawed system. But
humans are way more than flawed. We're fucking crazy.
Like the Churchill quote about democracy. Yeah, it's messed up, but it's the best thing we know.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm agreeing with you, and I'm also saying the technology doesn't give a fuck. What I'm worried about is not everything that you and I agree on. I'm not a dystopian person in terms of like today. I'm not cynical. I'm really not. I think I like people. I like what I see out there in the world today. I think things are changing for the better. What I'm worried is that technology doesn't give a fuck. And then when it goes live, it's just going to just decide it's here for its own advancement. And in order to complete its protocol of constant completion of this, and it's going to become a god. It's just going to become something insanely powerful that doesn't need to worry about radiation cooking it, or worry about running out of food, or worry about sexual abuse when they're a child. Doesn't have to worry about anything.
So it's definitely unstoppable, I think, this wave of technology. All we can do is innovators and creators, engineers, scientists, is steer that wave.
Yeah, if you can.
Well, we certainly can steer it. We don't know where, right? And that's the best we can do. And those are that's really the best we can do is good people steer it. And that's why the leadership is important. That's why the people that Jack, Elon, Larry Page, everybody at the Mark Zuckerberg, they are defining where this wave is going.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to be one of the people that does as well.